I know. I know. Me too. I feel your frustration. It seems like we barely make any progress. We spent all this time dinking around with one set of hardware, decided we didn't like it, ordered another set, which was going to take a month to get here. I actually got here a little sooner, but it presents some new issues that we got to figure out some way to deal with. And now that I'm just now looking at it, I'm trying to piece together what those ideas are going to look like. However, I'm a hell of a lot more impressed with this hardware. Let me show you. All right off the bat, they gave me enough screws, so yeah, that's a plus. One of the things I immediately like about the headpiece is the little spike that will, recess and keep that thing from rotating when you have to unscrew the grub screw. Specific screws for the headpiece that are flat topped. This little tiny piece of probably aluminum, I don't know, piece of metal to sit on top of that screw. Talking to Chris Franklin about the nightmares that he endured through his headless GGBO 21 project. One of the things he said was his rig was just eating strings. They were breaking all the time right at that point, and he thought it was probably the head of that screw somehow that was causing the problem. And I remembered that. So the fact that this comes with a little piece to sit on top of the head of that screw kind of impresses me. They've at least thought some of this stuff through. One of the problems we're going to have with this is that the base that the bridge piece actually is mounted to puts us like 9/16 above the platform where the saddle actually is, which is quite a bit more than the last one was going to look like. And that's probably close to a quarter, but we can't recess all the way. So even if I can figure out how to recess perfectly for that little shape, I don't know that it's going to be enough. I'm concerned. But overall, so far, I'm fairly impressed with this set of hardware. I'm not sure how I feel about the grub screw saddle. But, I mean, it's tried and true. There are a lot of people who have done it. However, that is about as low as it will go. So, there's that as well. Yeah. Anyway, that's the new hardware. Alright, next steps as I see it. Fairly quickly, I want to get the neck pocket done. It's the one thing I'm worried the most about in this build because I've never done it. I want to get the neck pocket done and fitted and know that that's okay, and then we can just go crazy with everything after that. For one thing, this blank is obviously too thick. It's going to have to come down some. And I was looking at the width of the body blank, and I don't think there would be a problem with the bottom of the pocket only having a 1/4 inch of meat. But I think maybe we'll just leave a 1/16 above that. So, 5/16 meat on the back of the pocket, which means we will have to chop off about that much of this blank. I also want to chop off the blank just a little inside of the fretboard, so the fretboard actually overlaps just a tiny bit. So if the pocket isn't absolutely gorgeously stellar, it's not the end of the world. It'll be covered up anyway. I think it would probably, knowing me, be a good thing to do anyway. Okay, so before we can do any of that, we have to know exactly how long the fretboard is and all that goodness. So I need to decide what the hell we're going to do for a fretboard. In the meantime, Other people have explained this. You've probably seen it elsewhere. But just to be pedantically complete, to lay out the fretboard for multi-scale, compound scale, I prefer to call it. I'm going from 25 to 27 inch. I have a 25 inch template board. 27, I have a printed. Okay, so first you need the dimensions of the neck itself, and then we need to mark where the two E strings are going to be. Generally about an eighth of an inch from the edge of the fretboard. Okay, so on the line of the string, we have to mark fret locations. Your scale has to be, well, it doesn't have to be. You can put these wherever the hell you want. It's just if you don't put it directly on the string itself, then that string is not actually going to be that scale length. Which, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's technically 27.002. You'll still intonate, everything will still work out. It just won't exactly be the scale that you set out to make it. So, you know, you could do it on the edge of the fretboard. It wouldn't matter. It really wouldn't. But that would actually widen your scale length some. Anyway, well, actually tighten it a little bit. Anyway, after drawing out the 27, I decided that the 9th fret was best for me as a perpendicular. And honestly, you don't have to have a perpendicular fret either. It doesn't really matter. I choose to do a perpendicular fret on the 9th. That way it's not too crazy at the nut. It's pretty crazy at the bridge, but your hand lays on it fairly well. So anyway, I don't like the way this has been drawn, and I need to redo it. Anyway, once we've done the 27th and I've decided the 9th will be perpendicular, I find my 9th and get this one lined up on the high E string and then get those marked. Anyway, that's how you actually lay that out. Alright, I got everything cleared off there except my center line, and the 27, the spot where I was pretty well sure I wanted the 27-inch scales nut line to be, and redrew a 9th. Okay, now, initially I thought paper template doesn't seem like a real precise and awesome template, but I mean, you can tape the damn thing down, so there's that. Alright, so anyway, I got my nut line right on my nut line. With this set, an eighth of an inch inside of the edge of the fretboard, where I'm pretty sure the edge of the neck will be. Anyway, all we really gotta do now is mark these fret locations. Then when we have both sides, we just connect the dots. That's with the physical. It really helps to set it on end. Then it's tricky keeping the damn thing in place. pain in the ass. It's tasks like this where you really start to wonder about just how precise the end of a pencil is, because it ain't very. Especially when you're dealing with angles, really makes you wonder. Anyway, you get the gist. Got a few more of these to go. Now I've been trying to think how exactly we would do this. I kind of think I would cut it to rough dimensions, temporarily stick it to the neck with super glue masking tape, flush trim it so that it perfectly fits, maybe do registration pins. I never do that, but it couldn't hurt. Anyway. Okay, now that we've done that, so we can peel it back off now, clean up the ends here, and cut the slots. Yeah. I say we can peel it off of here. We'll have to see if we actually can. I'm sure we can, one way or another, eventually. Somehow. Okay, with my little mechanical pencils, it turns out the mark that it leaves is about the same as same width as the kerf of the saw. So the lighting is not perfect. I kind of got to do it from a weird angle, at least the setup. But this little piece of canary is square and jointed. And I'll just line it up on the edge of that pencil line and clamp it down good and tight. To get us a guide. And at this stage, really, it doesn't take that much. We just need a slot. It doesn't have to be deep enough for anything. It just needs to be a slot. Once we got the slot, you can always go back and deepen it easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But of course, these need to be very precise. Do that later, dumbass. But it's not a quick, easy process. This will be a fairly slow and tedious task. But that's how it's gonna go. I was just thinking we can go ahead and get this damn thing mounted, but it just dawned on me it would be easier to do the inlay stuff while it's just the board. So, Maybe I'll shift gears and go ahead and do that first. Yeah. But anyway, I think we are just about ready to do it. As soon as that's done, yeah, that plug's gonna work. Yeah, so anyway, okay, let me get ready for dots and inlays and junk, and I guess we'll do that real quick before we go too crazy. Thanks for joining me. If you like what we're doing, if you're digging it, like and subscribe. Catch you next time. Like, subscribe.